Before Thailand, and I am in the process of bringing up some stuff that we brought back home with us. And yeah, I know my hair is a mess. Don't worry, I'm going to be fixing that before before going to Thailand. Not to worry. So we're just getting ready to go. As you can see, I went out to get some water, and I'm noticing something interesting. You'll see this liquid on here. The elevator is coated with bleach. I hope I didn't brush up against the bleach water. That'd look really great on my coat. Less than 2 hours now until we catch a DD, which by the way is, what is that like? What's the equivalent in America? I can't think of the American ride thing, taxi thing. Anyway, you use an app, somebody comes with their car and gives you a ride. Less than 2 hours now. We'll be in a DD on our way to the airport. The Changzhou Airport, where we'll be boarding a flight to Thailand. My wife is a little nervous about the whole thing. Even though they're not putting people in quarantine, they are being very strict about medical checks. She's terrified of getting a dry throat or coughing or anything, clearing her throat, anything that might alert them to make them think that she's sick. She's pretty worried about that. I keep telling her, just don't think about it. It's really hard to believe that in just a few hours, I'm no longer going to need this coat. In fact, I probably won't need much, just a t-shirt, that sort of thing. Really hard to believe. I keep asking my wife as we're getting ready here. So what do you think Charlie's doing?
He's probably causing a lot of problems for my mom.
Well, we finally made it through, and customs, huge medical check, by the way. You have to fill out a big paper. It says where you've been, a lot of information. And then there's a machine. Yeah, there's a whole big check. Then they finally let you through. Then you have to go through customs if you're traveling, abroad. Yeah, we're finally through. I'm just waiting for the flight now. As you can see, there are not very many people taking international flights right now. We are waiting for the plane to be disinfected. It's supposed to be departing in 1 minute, but something tells me that's not going to happen. But yeah. So we thought the plane was being disinfected, but all this time it was being checked, and the passengers are just now disembarking from the flight that arrived. Quite a process getting on this thing. Ask all the people with hazmat suits. We are on the border, so good deal. Even with the outbreak, things here are always the same. Always a very slow process. Well, here we are, in our seats, ready to go. in time. I left China, needed a coat. Now I feel like I'm in a rice cooker or some kind of a steamer thing. But I have nowhere to put my coat yet. Waiting for our arrival health inspection. This lovely card basically says that if anyone was discovered on this flight to be sick, then we'll all be quarantined. So in other words, if anybody's sick, we're doomed. Probably wondering why we came to another airport. Is it to get on another flight? Just for the heck of it? No. We rented a car and it just happened to be at a different airport than where we landed, so here we are getting the car. Alright, we have our rental car and we're preparing to go to the hotel. For now she's driving because, well, she wants to drive. It's an automatic. And yes, this time it is a right-hand drive vehicle. In Thailand, they right-hand drive. This will be strange. I've never driven in I've ridden in a right-hand drive vehicle, but here in a minute when I start driving, that'll be strange. I've never driven one. Finally to the hotel. It's after 2 o'clock in the morning. Pretty tired. Coffee. Espresso even. The instant kind. Not too much water. Good morning. Got my coffee. Oh yeah, welcome to Thailand proper. In an interesting little neighborhood here. As soon as I get this caffeine in myself, we're going to take a walk and try and find 7-Eleven. And yeah, that should be interesting. Obviously, compared to where we were, it's very hot and humid here. I actually quite like it. The the cities don't look quite as nice as back in China, but I've always liked cities to be a little bit rough. I personally consider, I just feel like a city shouldn't be too clean or perfect. It's got to have a bit of grit to it. Otherwise, it's not a real city. It's actually one of the reasons I like Beijing over Shanghai. Shanghai's just a little too neat. Beijing is a little bit more on the raw side, a little more real, in my opinion. Even if it is a strange communist city, just something about it. Now, this place I also love. This is amazing. It's got that grit to it. My wife says that driving here is a nightmare compared to China. I believe her, and I've heard that from others, but just looking at it right now, I don't know. It doesn't look so bad. Maybe this isn't rush hour, that's why. And maybe to a lot of you, you're looking at this neighborhood that I'm walking around in, saying, it looks a little too gritty for me. I feel like you're an idiot for walking around in there. Well, don't worry. I am an idiot. I think that's well established by my other videos, but I'm an idiot without a wallet, so not to worry. They take Alipay, a Chinese pay app here, so I don't have to carry a wallet. And if they stole my phone, then letting a taxi go by. If they took my phone, well, it wouldn't matter because they'd have to cut off, I better be careful what I say, they'd have to cut off my thumb or something to get onto it, so. At least they wouldn't take my money. They can have my thumb, but they can't, then they would get my money. Well, you get what I mean. Now, perhaps you're wondering about updates regarding the virus. I do have a few. One that I want to talk about is a notice that came out from the Thai government, the health minister, basically saying that if people came here from China, they would be put into quarantine. Now, you've noticed I am not in quarantine. That's because he immediately took it back down, and just a couple of days ago, the Thai government made it official that they weren't going to do that. It'd have too big of an impact on their economy, they say. Yeah. So no, I'm not in quarantine. There was some very thorough health checks, as you saw at the airport. Well, I don't know if I got all that in the video. They didn't want me to record them, so either way, there were some very thorough health checks. I'm gonna go up and over this road to determine if we were sick or not, but I really feel like they wouldn't have much of an impact. I haven't noticed many people wearing masks here, including myself. Maybe that's a dumb idea. No, I'm an idiot. You know how it is. Well-established idiot. Yeah, that happened. Within China, they're, I don't know, sometimes I feel like they're going back to where they're locking things down. A little bit. At least in the big cities. Shanghai, Beijing, those places. Wuhan, of course, they continue to be locked down. And although some of the surrounding areas in Hubei province have been reduced to low-risk status, they're still not letting them out of the province. And frankly, if they did, then I feel like, well, nobody would be very welcoming. As soon as they saw, a Hubei license plate, they'd be sending them away or trying to chase them out with pitchforks, the bamboo kind. What else was I going to say? Oh, and if they heard the dialect, everybody at this point knows how to recognize it, so they wouldn't be welcome. Good night. 7-Eleven. Let's see what we can find. Ice cream. That's something to have on a hot day. I think coffee. Other strange drinks. My wife said something about some kind of milk. I'm gonna have to send her a thing. That coffee they had at the hotel was actually really, oh look. Here it is. 35 baht for this little thing. But it's quite good. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to get a bunch of that before I go. My son loves these, by the way. Because a friend of ours sent some of those over, and yeah, he loves them. I think it's because of the chocolate. He just loves chocolate. I'm trying to decide what to get, what flavors. Oh, my wife, as it turns out, really loves these, so I'll probably get some of those. Maybe I'll get, let's see, so many different things. Young Cam Raw Ross flavor? That doesn't sound so good. Mala barbecue. Oh, that's Chinese barbecue flavor. Look at that. Extra barbecue flavor. Original Doritos. Oh, I'm getting some of those. I wonder what else I can get here. This one looks especially wicked. Baked cheese with tamarind paste. That probably tastes like cheese and raisins. I don't know. I'm starting to run out of hands, but I'm gonna figure out what to get to bring back. There's a microwave in the room, so maybe I'll get something like that. All right, I got it. See my haul here? My wife wanted some kind of milk drink. Said to get two of them, so I did. I don't think she's gonna share with me. Probably too good. I'll have to try it another time. Apparently, my son really likes this stuff. See, my son has been to Thailand before with his grandma and his mom. Well, I was too busy working. So, yeah. So this actually, believe it or not, is my first time being here. At least, not just passing through. So, kind of an interesting experience. It, again, I like it so far. It's got grit. It makes me think a little bit of Hong Kong. A bit rougher, perhaps. But the environment is much the same. Now, by environment, what I mean is the humidity, the temperature, that sort of thing. Hong Kong obviously is
well, it has its rough parts, and that's one of the things I love about it. Is it's got grit, as I mentioned earlier, as a city should have. So this place just has an extra layer of grit. We'll put it that way. It's great. While I'm thinking about it, let's see if you can see across the street. There is a shrine behind me. They have them literally everywhere. I have to be careful not to get run over. But yeah, this place, oh, there's one right here. Literally shrines all over the place. I guess people here are a little bit more religious than back in communist China. Although Grandma and Grandpa are Buddhist, as I mentioned. I'm assuming they're Buddhist here. I don't think they're, yeah, probably Buddhist. I'm going to have to look that up. I'll put it in here. Shows you how much I know. But, yeah, definitely more religious than back where we were. Also, a lot of these little alleyways, or not alleyways, what am I saying? Canals running between neighborhoods. There's not any boats going through them. In China, I sometimes saw boats going through places like that, but I see the bridges that go over the canals there's not enough clearance. There's no way anybody would be able to, well, you know, they could just crouch down and get in there. There's a lot more motorcycle traffic here than back in the Middle Kingdom, which, if you didn't know, here's a little lesson in Chinese language. The word for China in Chinese is Zhongguo, which means Middle Kingdom, literally translated. So, yeah, definitely a lot more motorcycle traffic here than in the Middle Kingdom. They've actually, in a lot of places, started passing laws in China to get rid of motorcycles. They're making it harder and harder. Even the nice ones, you know, I don't know what the deal is with that, but maybe some communist officials got annoyed by a motorcycle one time and just decided to get rid of all of them. I don't know. But either way, there's a lot more of them here. I'm just about back to the room. It's just up the road here. But yeah, hopefully you find this interesting. To me, this is very interesting. As I said, this is the first time I've really spent time in Thailand or Southeast Asia in general. I do know Vietnam a little bit, but I didn't see Slurpees at 7-Eleven. So I was a little disappointed about that. I thought they might have them. They don't have them in China. They have 7-Eleven, but no Slurpees. And I don't remember seeing them in Japan either. But I know in Vietnam they have icy drinks. And I mentioned that before. Who knows, maybe if I find a Circle K, they'll have icy drinks. We'll find out. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know, Thailand is a kingdom. And as such, there are portraits of the king everywhere. I find it kind of strange at first. Yeah, portraits everywhere. I'll have to show you when I see another one. Well, my wife was kind enough to share one of the bottles of this stuff with me, so let's find out what it tastes like. Okay, let's see what this thing tastes like. It's yogurt. It's yogurt. I thought this was like milk, and I was expecting maybe like a banana type flavor. Nope, it's yogurt. Okay, it doesn't say it on English, so I can't say in this case that I'm just an idiot, but I see why my son likes it. It's, he likes yogurts. It's a yogurt drink. And now I want to point something out about these Doritos that I got, and I thought they were the regular Doritos, like back home. Maybe some of you noticed when I didn't, when I was buying it. These are not nacho cheese flavor, it's a spicy barbecue flavor. So I guess we'll find out what that tastes like. Let me see here. Let's put that down. Here we go. That's pretty good, actually. It doesn't taste like regular Doritos, but it's good. How would I describe it? A little bit of sweet, a little bit of spice. Yeah, it's good. You'll have to try it if you ever come here. So, on my recommendation, they're good. Well, that's probably enough for this, so I'll get it put together, get it uploaded so you guys can see and get an update. It's been a few days. And you can see where I'm in, well, Thailand, you know what I mean.